Well, we're here to look at what has happened on the Gulf Coast. Obviously, number one. Number two, come out and visit some of our Californians that are out here giving back to the people of the Gulf. It's amazing, this incident command center that's here in Houma, Louisiana. There's four. There's one in Houston, there's one in Mobile, and one in Miami. I'm looking forward to going out and doing the tour of the ocean, Deepwater horizon where it happened, and hoping it never happens again, and maybe take back of what they're learning. Some of the feedback I'm getting is that California's on top of things. We have a great command center support system that we've used with fires and floods. They're using it here, and I look forward to learning more of what happened here during the day.
You had a chance to meet with some of the California folks that are here working on the incident. What kind of feedback did you get from them?
You know, they're all saying that everybody's working in unison. You have people from all up and down the state of California, Coast Guard, Wildlife, Fish and Wildlife, UC Davis, all of them helping the people here of the coast. And I think it's something that is great. I'm glad that California can help. Hope we can help with some tourism expertise, and maybe down the road some cleanup on volunteering by the Conservation Corps of California.
It's great to be here. I just want to say a few words, and we'll move on and have Lynn give us a little bit of training. It's my honor to be here in the great state of Louisiana. I came in last night. I'm leaving tonight. I'm sorry I can't be here any longer. But I come from California. I'm California's 47th Lieutenant Governor. And I represent, before I was Lieutenant Governor, I represented what I believed in my heart, the most beautiful district in the state of California, which was the 15th Senatorial District, which was almost, actually not almost, over 1/3 of the California coastline. The counties of Santa Barbara, the counties of San Luis Obispo, Big Sur, Pebble Beach, Carmel, Monterey, Santa Cruz, and obviously a couple of marine sanctuaries in my district. And to me, early on in my life, I was taught that if you don't protect the coast, then who is going to protect it for you? So I've made it a point to always make sure that we were vigilant on keeping our coastline pristine and making sure that hand in hand it would work with tourism, because it's because of the coast that brings a lot of people to visit the California state that I call the Golden State. And through this process, obviously, I've been watching what has been happening in Louisiana with the oil spill. And my heart breaks when I see what goes on and what has gone on. And not only with the oil spill, but last night I was downtown. I'm sure it was right next to Bourbon Street because there was a lot of action. And I've talked to some people, and I was explaining to them how it hurt to see what had gone on. And they said, try having a double whammy, because we're just trying to recover from Katrina. And right when we're getting over Katrina, this happens. And the question was from a lot of folks, why us? But I must tell you that I see a lot of resilient and a lot of strong people in this great state. This morning, I took a tour of the command center. And I must tell you that I was very, very impressed. I'm happy that California took a role in how they operate that command center. We have fires every year that ravage our great state. We have floods that ravage our great state. And through that, we've come up with a model. We wrote a book on a model on incident command centers. And I've kind of seen what you did here in Louisiana. It mirrors what we've done, just on a much, much larger scale than what we do. So that was the beginning of my trip. And obviously I went out and I was able to tour where Deep Horizon used to be. And to see this huge, huge area with actually so many platforms, I was kind of in awe, because we have 27 platforms in the whole state of California. And I think there's more than 3,000 or 4,000 out there in the Gulf. So the work is obviously there. And through this process, when I decided to come to Louisiana, I decided to make my trip twofold. One on tourism and the other one on volunteering. Because I must tell you this, I could never, as Lieutenant Governor, thank the volunteers of the state of California enough for what they do for our state. Because they're always there. They're always there to help our neighboring states. And if it wasn't for volunteer hours, I don't know where my state would be. And I can just go on and talk about different circumstances that we've used them. And one group that always comes through is the California Conservation Corps. And I want to talk a little bit about the California Conservation Corps, and I'm sure Lynn will speak a little bit more on that. But as a state senator myself, I've carried legislation where I've always involved the Corps. We even had a Salmon Creek restoration project where all done on volunteer work by the California Conservation Corps. And I can go on and on and on. They're never thanked enough, so I'm here to thank you for all the dedication and the hard work. I must tell you this, that as the process has gone through today, I've asked a lot of questions of a lot of people. And I'm asking why there isn't a lot more volunteers working on this spill. And I've heard different things. But I think the one that I've heard the most that makes sense is that they're hiring displaced people first. And to me, that means a lot, because right when you're on the verge of losing your home or your family or something else, it's important that you get some help. And I hate to say this, but the disaster is causing them to get some support. But this isn't going to go away. We had a spill in my district in 1969 in the early 70s off the Santa Barbara coast. And it was big. And it affected my state and my county for a long, long time. And while the cleanup is going through, and once the cleanup goes away, then there's still a lot of volunteers that are going to be needed for the fishermen and to rebuild a lot of the things that have been damaged. So you still have your work cut out. So my question is if you're going to help, why not be well trained? And that's one of the things that we focus on in California. Whether it was an earthquake or a flood or a fire, well-trained volunteers always make a big difference. And that's why I wanted to have the Conservation Corps come out, and Lynn came out with us today, and she's going to give you some training and learn more about this Conservation Corps, because it is the little jewel that we have in California that many people point to, and it's volunteers. It really is amazing. So with that, I'll take some questions afterwards if you have any, but I'd like to introduce Janet Pace, who's going to say a few words. And I can't thank all of you for having me here today. It's been an honor to be here. I just met with the Secretary of Tourism and gave him some pointers of what we do, because California lives and dies by tourism. And so does Louisiana. And I think if I'm going to take something that I'm amazed with today after this trip, is that it's amazing how the two big industries, which fishing and oil, can coexist in the same place. You've done a fantastic job. Now it can't be them versus you or you versus them. It's got to be a joint partnership to fix this.
What do you hope to gain from the entire trip?
Well, I wanted to get the real feedback of how this could be prevented from ever happening in California. Obviously, these are deep wells. California doesn't have deep wells, but we do have some wells. Number one, we do have a lot of ships that transport a lot of oil through our California coastline, and our coastline is our economic engine. People go to California for the beaches. They go to California to see Disneyland. We have a lot of things, but the coast is the most important thing, and if we don't protect it, then who will? That's why I'm here today, to see so it never happens in California.
Are you encouraged by what you've seen here today?
Absolutely, very encouraged to see, all these organizations throughout our country coming together, headed at the top by the Coast Guard here at the Incident Command Center. It really is amazing when you come together and you don't worry about who gets the credit, you just get the job done. That's what I'm seeing here so far.